Hey everybody, time to actually make an update to the refined tier list. I am going to cover more than the 3 units, and that's because there's more than 3 units that got a new refine. There's a total of 6 units that got a refine. Corey and M, Camila, Claire, obviously, but the other 3 are Lucina, Massmarf, and Crumb. They all have access to the Sealed Falchion now. And it's actually worth talking about because, well, it's Sealed Falchion. It's a really freaking good weapon, especially in the end of, well, Lucina and Massmarf. So, I also did a bit of change on the tier list. I changed down Jafar from A+ to A tier because, while his dagger is really good, you can't just run Wrathful Staff with Dazzling Staff Refine on literally any healers, and it does about the same chip damage. So after talking with some people in that video, I realized there was a bit of bias there. I fixed that. So, you know, now he's sitting at A tier. It's still a decent refine. It's just, the thing is, you could just spend 50 refine stone on a healer over spending, well, 200 do on Jafar. And healers, well, they tend to have a better stat line than Jafar, if I'm being honest. I also moved Ziphiel from A+ to A tier because the meta we're in currently is not really focused on long-ranged unit. It's something I did pointed out in my other refinery video, which, yeah, it's going to also be in the description below because I'm not going to talk about every unit here. I already spoke about all of them but the new ones. So if you do want to actually watch that, I'm just going to leave a link in the description. And just a fast plug as well, I'm going to leave my Discord and my Twitch there. I don't stream often, but I do sometimes. Moving on to the actual video. So, let's begin with Camila. I decided to go like this because right now I do not have access to like a screenshot of every character the same way as I did with the other units, and I'm doing it manually. So it's a bit easier to do this. I'm also going to add the stats so I can actually refer to them when needed. So Camila essentially got Inoka's Spear on her base effect, and that is not bad at all. She has decent attack, decent speed, and well, pretty good bulk. She's kind of like a jack of all trade, master of none. But the fact that she's available at 3 to 4 star can kind of make up for it. And Camila's axe kind of really fixes her offense for the most part. Due to Camila's axe, her offense becomes 34-36 if you use her on a flyer team or if you use her on a mixed team cavalry flyers. But not only that, her refine effect allows her to buff her allies. So, alright. Obviously, the effect is based on how her siblings are Xander, Leo, and Elise. 3 of those are on horses. So, and they added flyers as well into the mix because she's a flyer herself. And overall, it also helps her have more synergy because if it's just some random flyer buffing horses, it's like, why bother? It's just dumb. Gold Cavalry does that already. So, enough talking about that, but Camila's axe, it's a fantastic tool. It allows her to have decent offense with still decent bulk. It also lets her become a buffer, which in a flyer team, especially if it's a full flyer team, give her gold, give her Camila's axe, give her drive attack seal. That's plus 10 attack and 7 speed to all flyers. Within 2 space, obviously, but it's pretty ridiculous how useful it is. It also buffs her HP by 3, making it go to 40. which is a much better number, not by much, but it's still there, you know. It makes her a much better offensive threat, but also, like, the fact that she has more bulk was one of the reasons why you would usually run Emerald Axe on her with distant counter to deal with Reinhardt back then when Reinhardt was more prevalent. And then if you had enough merge, you would switch out of Emerald's Axe because you would have enough attack through the merges to switch to Slaying Axe. Now, because, like I said before, when it's a unit that's more, that is balanced all around, the more merge you get, the better she gets. And this holds true with Camila as well. Slaying Axe is still good, but frankly Camila's Axe is much better in most team comps. And now if you're talking about tactic teams that are not purely like horses and flyers, Slaying Axe might be a bit better. Otherwise, nah, Camila's Axe is insane. You could also refine it for speed, get a bit more HP as well. This allows her to get a total of 39 speed, 42 speed if you're speed plus, which is pretty quick, and gold flyers will buff that even more. However, I feel like her effective is so much better in Flyer Emblem because she, though, like I said, it really depends on the team comp. If you're talking about Blade Tome team comps, it might struggle a bit. But even then, it buffs their speed on top of her being able to use Fortify Flyer herself. Meaning she can buff Blade Tome, but she can also buff their speed on top of it and their attack, which is less of a problem, or help, rather. But, it still is there. Though, like I said, Speed Plus is a good option in this case. Now, if you're in a Gold Flyer team, oh boy, you will prefer to keep that. Because Brave Lance, Brave Axe, Amity as well, uses this effect to ridiculous amount. Let me just put it this way, okay? Elincia at neutral has 45 attack. Camila's Axe with Drive Attack Seal and Gold Flyers put that to 55. With Death Blow, that's 61. At this point, you don't even bother about the speed. You just have so much attack you kill most units. Now, the speed is still useful, however. I'm not saying throw it away. I'm just saying at that point, you have just that much attack. You can literally just use Elincia the same way as you would, like, Swordheart, as people like to call him. Just World of Tracy Reinhardt is how I'm going to pronounce him, though. So it's a really good weapon overall, and a pretty solid buff. Like I put Inoka in S, I just see no reason to put her at any less than S as well. It's definitely one of the better weapons we've got so far. So let's move on to Corin Mail's weapon. Also, Jesus Christ, I'm already at 8 minutes. Yato is another weapon that really likes to go speed refine, changing the +4 speed only on player phase to 2 attack, 5 speed, 2 def, 2 res. However, this effect is really solid. This refine is insanely good with certain units, but it's only certain units. I'm looking at mainly stuff such as Bright Cordelia. Bright Cordelia can use everything from this. The bulk helps her survive some DC unit. The offense really helps her shoot up in terms of damage potential, especially if you run Drive Attack and Spur Attack with S support. At that point, you're sitting on, well, let's just say 13 attack. Well, yeah, 13 attack and 6 speed, 6 def, 6 res for the Brave Archer. It's absolutely insane. Blade Tome uses it a bit less because it's not active buffs, but it's still pretty solid purely for the speed, and it lets them hit Desperation easier. Other characters such as Raven can really use it because he uses a Heavy Blade really a lot. Just a lot of characters really benefit from it, but it comes down to synergy. A lot of people don't consider that weapon to be good, and I completely disagree. I feel like it's one of the better weapons we've got out of the bunch. 4 in every stat is just such a huge increment. But if you want to use Corin for the sake of using Corin, then it's definitely barely any help, so go for a speed refine instead. Let's move on. Claire. Now, I can already hear people being like, why the fuck is Sita a tier over Claire? The simple answer is color. The color fucks her up. Because the biggest powerhouse when it comes down to reds is Zelgius. She has effective damage, she has combat triangle advantage, but without triangle adept, she actually struggles in one-shotting Zelgius. And if she doesn't one-shot him, well, let's just say steady breath. Bolt fighter, quicken pulse. I know I'm bringing that up a bajillion time, but that's an insta-kills her. True combat disadvantage. And him tanking a hit is possible without buffs. So even if Claire has buffs, she can struggle. She will need like 2 goes and hoping for Zelgius not to have a fortify armor near her. Near him, rather. Zelgius is a man, come on. So it's really struggling for her. Now, it's still, and obviously you will go for attack plus if you have that set. So 46 attack, right? If you go, say, Swift Sparrow, that's 50 attack, that becomes 75 attack. Zelgius has a good amount of def, 35. Now, if you have, like, Swift Sparrow and buffs, you will overtake him. Otherwise, it can be really iffy, because Arena tends to always scales you upward. You will always fight people that score 10 points above you, essentially, is what I'm talking about. Your defense team is scoring 10 less than your average, or your highest, I'm not so sure. So, if you have like a merge, Claire, you might end up going against a plus 10 Zelgius. In which case, yikes. Even if you have 90 attack, you can just tank it up. Especially with just a single buff. So it can really cause her problem. And she struggles one-shotting a lot of armored unit. She has struggled killing in one-shot armored unit she has a combat triangle advantage on. So, let alone the green ones, which are some of the most prominent. And blue, which is starting to be extremely big purely because of Zelgius. So, she struggles using it to KO cavalry. Not cavalry, armored unit. Cavalry unit, no problem whatsoever, but at the same time, Rider's Bane negates buffs. So it's kind of hard for me to just encourage going for this. Now, I'm not saying the weapon's bad, the weapon's good. It still is a solid amount of attack. And you can still make it work, but the big difference between Sita and her, because they're both basically wet noodles, is while they both have about the same attack, they're dealing with different units. Claire would be dealing with reds, Zelgius killing her off a lot. And blue with Effie using Wary Fighter, stopping her speed. Even if she has Desperation, she will not kill her. Because Effie would just eat that shit up and just smash her back. Possibly even one-shotting her depending on the set. So, and Effie is the most common of the blue armored unit. So, again, struggling. A lot of greens Sita deals with, and the most prominent one being Grima Male. Grima M hits res. And guess what Sita has in spade? res. Claire, while she does have res, well, there's no armored dragon red unit, is there? So it's a bit problematic, isn't it? There's still a bunch, though, of cavalry unit that are red. I'm thinking of the new Reinhardt, for example. She just one-shot... well, she might not one-shot him, and actually Reinhardt might deal with her as well. But no, I think more often than not, you will one-shot her. One-shot him, rather. So she won't struggle with that too much. So, yeah. What would I suggest for the refine? Well, kind of hard to even suggest a refine. It feels like the extra def could help for a def refine, but it's nothing that would really help you elevate yourself. You could go for res, but again, there's 2 red dragons. 2 blue ones she can kind of deal with, but there's better weapons for that. Deft Harpoon is honestly really good on her because of that. You could go for more attack, but that's kind of iffy. It can help her edge out a few fights with Zelgius, though, which is still useful. It's Zelgius. It's literally the biggest threat in Arena right now. But if I'm being completely blunt here, this weapon, while still good, kinda struggles, in the sense that Fire Sweep Lance helps Claire more. Fire Sweep Lance prevents Zelgius from attacking her at all, so she can just either chip or kill the dude, especially since she will tend to hit twice with Fire Sweep. But that's just my 2 cents. It's not a bad weapon. I want to stress that. It's just that Fire Sweep helps a bit more. In the area she struggles more. Now, let's speak about the Sealed Falchion a bit. And, well, actually, yeah, let's talk about Mass Marth and Lucina, since they're basically the same character. Sealed Falchion. Oh boy, Sealed Falchion. It's one hell of a weapon. It literally makes BK Crom able. And that's next to her. That's, you know, pretty bulk machine with Lucina. Master Lucina less so, because no IVs, obviously. But, yeah, Sealed Falchion is better for an aggressive build, and Bond Falchion is... I swear to God. Anyway, so where was I? Okay, Sealed Falchion is aggressive and Bond Falchion is defensive. So if you have a DC set, Bond is definitely better for Lucina, right? But if you don't and you rather have something like Brazen, boy, Lucina is leagues above with Sealed Falchion. Ugh. Sorry about this. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry about that. So, with Brazen Attack Speed and Speed Plus, you hit 46 speed already. With Falchion, you hit 51 speed. See where I'm going with this? Then you had, I don't know, an actual buff? Own speed, for example? Not even speed tactic at this point. You're already at 55 speed. Iris and Arena have either 47 or 50 speed outside of the Water and Earth season, depending if they have a Grima F or Fjorm Blessing. So you double her if she's not buffed. It's ridiculous. I don't think I have to explain this, why. Mass Lucina, again, less so, but she's still already a free Lucina at +2 neutral, if you have gotten all of her. So, yeah. And on top of that, she can hit ridiculous amounts of attack, even with neutral attack, with Brazen attack speed. You end up with a good, okay, so 34 attack. Sealed Falchion, that makes that 50. Brazen attack speed, that makes that 57. Sealed Falchion make that 62. 62 attack. Give own attack, so that's 66 attack. 66 attack with 55 speed. Is that overkill? Fuck yes it is! You can't even run the Heavy Blade with this shit. Like I said, it's mainly for an aggressive set. So, yeah. I don't know why I even did Mass Morph, since it's basically Lucina, but neutral. Anyway, Crom. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like, Crom can go fast? Well, let's see here, right? Speed plus 29, right? Brazen attack speed, 36. We're already at 36 speed, boys. Speed tactic, 42. Okay. Sealed Falchion, 47. Speed plus 3, 50. You can hit 50 speed with this dude. Though, frankly, you'll go for 47 and Heavy Blade more often than not. For, you know, obvious reasons. So, yeah. What the fuck? You can actually hit a good amount of speed. And again, this is Brazen Attack Speed. Another one you can run is Brazen Attack Death. This makes him able to hit 43 death. That's still insane. So you can make him like a... And if you do this, the best thing you can do is probably give him Brash Assault Desperation to combo into the having that death and attack. The same way as you would with Eris nowadays. So, yeah. This is really good on him as well. Sealed Falchion is absolutely insane. That said, if you really want him to be bulky with Brazen Attack Death, I'll be honest, Attack Death Bond with Bond Falchion will completely outclass this set. Because, oh, but you have less stats! Well, first off, you don't have to hit a certain threshold of HP to get those buffs. You have them from the get-go. Second, you have renewal on the Bond Falchion. You do not have it on this Sealed Falchion. So, Sealed Falchion is more like a Berserker Falchion in a way. And regular Falchion, Bond Falchion, is basically, how can I put it? It's a Paladin Falchion? Yeah, that's kind of a big difference, isn't it? And Crom fits more the role of a Paladin. You can run QR as well on him if you want. If you go with the Bond route, since you will most likely be defending rather than attacking. So yeah, I think this covers it all. All in all of those refines are absolutely good, absolutely great. Claire is the most shaky one of those, purely because Fire Sweep Lens is such a boon to her to make up for, well, the fact that so many deadly matchups are in red. It's not Claire's fault, it's more like the fact that she's a lens that's at fault. Red is just such a strong roster of good units that it makes her struggle a bit. So yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think I have much else to cover. It's really just mainly speaking about Brazens. Do understand though, Bun is still really good on most of them. It just depends on what IVs you are working with, you know, or what you really want to do. Most of the aggressive sets you could run on Crom are not exactly worth it, because every player, if they're free, have access to, you know, Mass Morph, which is just 36 speed, versus Crom's, well, having 29 speed, you know? So, yeah. What can I say? They are all good. So, with that done, I'm going to call it a video here. There's really nothing else for me to cover, and after doing the Genealogy 4 banner review and this review today, I'm kind of drained. I don't have anything else to cover, so I'm just gonna call it here. So, I'll be seeing you guys later.